right, 6:30, call the meeting, the special meeting to order. Roll call, we're missing Marcus. And he's maybe here a little later. So we have one item for the council to consider. It's ordinance number 1053, the face mask ordinance. And before we start any internal discussion, I'll ask Sarah, is there any public comments?
There was. We had one. I'll go ahead and read that. It is from Karen Rich at 31051 207th Street, Leavenworth, Kansas 66048. I wish to address you and my fellow men and women honorably and respectfully. Please hear me. The Ordinance 1053 is perpetuating fear based on lies and propaganda put forth by media, service corporations, and unfortunately, our service corporations acting as governments and healthcare officials. Please read this article before making a decision. A link was provided to a LouRockwell.com article titled Former Pfizer Science Officer Reveals Great COVID-19 Scam. Illness and death are a part of life. COVID-19 is not the crisis we've been led to believe. If you get the so-called virus, you have a 99.949% chance of survival. There are proven successful treatments. Has the actual virus been isolated and proven to exist? PCR testing does not provide a true diagnosis of illness. The test's inventor stated that the test was for lab use only and is not a diagnostic tool. Virtually no one who is asymptomatic has the live virus, but when you run the test at a cycle threshold over 30, meaning you amplify the viral RNA more than 30 times, you end up with a positive test, even if the virus is inactive and non-infectious. In other words, you receive false positives. So then, the cases reported are not true in the definition of illness. The vaccine is not a cure and is completely experimental. Why would anyone take a brand new biological agent which has not been proven safe or efficacious? Are you aware of the unknown risks associated with this vaccine? That it may cause infertility? Do you know what an antibody-dependent enhancement reaction is? Did you know that the vaccine does not prevent transmission of said COVID-19? Are you aware that the pharma companies are immune from liability if this experimental vaccine causes harm? Did you know that the CDC is a service corporation holding 20 patents on vaccine technologies, making them, in the very least, suspect in their motivation and responses to handling illness in the American population? Are you aware that taking the vaccine means you are enrolling yourself into a medical trial? Masks are not protection against disease and may cause more harm than you are intending. Please read regarding masks before decision. A link was provided to a Mercola file entitled, Can Face Masks Protect You from Aerosol Particles? Men and women residing, working, shopping, traveling, etc. in the city of Leavenworth are children of God and are sovereign. Ask yourself, how can a service corporation, which you are represented, which was created as a service to the people, be sovereign over the people? Obviously, it cannot. Common law applies to all men and women and dictates that we are all born free to do whatever we choose for ourselves, provided we do not cause harm or loss to others' life, liberty, or property, or their rights to life, liberty, or property. The mask ordinance inhibits my right to breathe freely as God intended me to breathe. Unfortunately, you, acting as representatives of a service corporation, are usurping all of our right to breathe freely and thus in breach of common law. Thus, you commit an act of trespass against all living men and women by attempting to impose upon us a corporate bylaw policy. I do not think you intend harm. Unfortunately, you are being misled by lies and propaganda, which causes fear and anxiety, which leads to cloudy decision-making. Think very carefully on this ordinance, which impinges on our life, liberty, and property, and our rights to life, liberty, and property. Thank you. Respectfully, Kerry Rich. That is it.
Okay, this ordinance would require the wearing of a face mask from 1 February 2021 until 31 March 2021, with the ability to repeal the ordinance early should the governing body decide to do so. And I will open the floor for discussion and go around the horn. Gene, you're first.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I do. I have a few things. Some of this information was available from the Leavenworth County Health Department website as of January 25th. Community positive percentage. At the middle of November, we were at 16.50%. On January 24th, we were at 7.16, a drop of over 1/2. The desired standard set last May for percent positive on testing was and continues to be 5%. Currently, the state is at 27.8. Also clearly to me, we are doing something right here. Total community cases per 100,000. At the middle of December, we were at 725.31. On January 24th, we were at 425.65. Another substantial drop. The state has extended the state of emergency agreed to by both parties until March 31st. Statewide cases are trending down. Hospitalizations are also trending down. There are now 3 new mutated versions of the virus, which are more easily transmitted by 50 to 70%. The total number of doses given by the Leavenworth County Health Department so far is just slightly over 2,000. And that's with a population north of 81,000. So we got a long way to go there. It will take some time to vaccinate those wanting the machine. The good news is there appears to be 2 more vaccines coming up soon. There are no curfews or closures being mandated. Eating establishments, bars, stores, salons, and all manner of businesses are allowed to be open. I went to 2 local businesses last week and the mandate came up. Those business owners were very happy that the mandate was instituted. It would appear to me that the positive decline in the numbers correlates to the mandate. Tonganoxie, Leavenworth, and today Johnson County have extended their mandate to March 31st. As I've said earlier, it makes more sense to me that we come as close as we can to what other cities are doing so as not to cause any confusion. I would also like to keep from making the same mistake that other cities and states did last year, open up too early, and in some cases, never mandating the wearing of masks and facial coverings. We have come too far to slip backwards. We have avoided hospitals being so overcrowded that people were being treated in tents. Our medical people need a break, both mentally and physically. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Gene. Let's see, let's go to Jesse.
Okay. Marcus is on here. Do you want to go to him next? Because he's ahead of me.
Sure. Marcus?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
No, go ahead. I came in late. Go ahead. My apologies. Go ahead, Jesse. I'll support you, brother. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. I'll go ahead then. We all got the email from Sarah. I'm probably going to butcher her last name. Swinison, which was a very nice email, who is opposed to the mandate, just like the letter that Sarah read. There are a lot of people that are opposed to the mandate. I am definitely opposed to the mandate. I don't think we should tell people to wear a mask, especially business owners, what they do in their establishment as far as safety, as far as the mask safety is up to them entirely. Gene talked about the numbers trending down. Now, let me ask you, are the numbers trending down because of the mask or because it's spread so far that people are developing an immunity to it, that it's taken over the country and people have gotten it and gotten over and become immune to it? That's my philosophy. Just because it's printed on a piece of paper doesn't mean it's so, right? They can tell you anything they want to tell you and you're going to believe it. So I'm opposed to the mask mandate. There was a petition turned in. Unfortunately, they didn't have enough signatures. So that's probably going to go back. They're going to challenge the number of signatures on the petition. So hopefully they can challenge it and overturn it. But there's a lot of people that are opposed to this mask mandate, and I think we need to listen to their voices and their opinion. That's all I got.
All right, thanks, Jesse. You ready, Marcus, or you want me to go to Greg?
Hey, I'll pick up the tail end. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mayor.
All right, Greg?
Thank you, Mayor. So, yes, we did receive the email against it, but I have heard far more comments in support of it. There was a local business that I was talking to one of the owners, and they said because a lot of the closures in Wyandotte County, there are a lot of people coming from Wyandotte County to utilize the Lansing and Leavenworth facilities that are open late at night, specifically the bars and restaurants that are open late at night. So while her email said the residents of Lansing are largely responsible, and I agree with that, it's not the residents of Lansing that I'm really concerned about. It's the people coming from Johnson County and Wyandotte County where everything closes early so that they can stay out until who knows how long in the morning. So I am in favor of the mask mandate. I think that we should continue it. That's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thanks, Greg. Ron?
Well, just a quick question, Mr. Mayor. You may have already said it. Let's say tomorrow that we got the all clear, COVID was gone. What would be the policy if we did vote for the mandate to rescind it? How would that work?
It'd work either in another special meeting or we would do it during a regular session.
Okay, so it's not a cumbersome thing to rescind it then, correct?
No,
Okay.
it's not. It's not.
Well,
As
I'm
long as
all-
everyone can have a special meeting.
I'm all for it. The church mother of our church was diagnosed with COVID last week. She passed away today. This is the second member of our church that has passed. We've got some other members that are sick. I think it's a minor inconvenience, very much like a seatbelt or a motorcycle helmet. And the good news, this is something that's only temporary. So I'm 100% for it.
All right, thanks, Ron. Kerry? Is Kerry on there?
Yes, he is.
Do not see Kerry.
He's.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go.
Sorry, man. I want to choose my words carefully. I like to pay attention to what science says, the CDC, the Kansas State Health Department, the Leavenworth Health Department. Every one of those say masks make a huge difference. We're getting, I know there's COVID fatigue, and I get it. I'm tired of it too. However, we just need to hang on a little longer, do what we're supposed to do. I like, it is an inconvenience, a small inconvenience, but if I can keep myself well, or if I can keep somebody else well by wearing a mask, then to me, this is just an absolute no-brainer. And I just question also where some of this information comes from. It truly doesn't make sense to me. So that's all I've got.
All right, thanks, Kerry. Don?
I don't have any real comments. Comments have already been made. I'm in favor of extending the mandate. Thank you.
Okay, Dave?
Well, gentlemen, we've come this far. Maybe a year or two down the road, we'll find out whether or not the mask helped us or hindered us, or we should have done something different. But maybe right now that's something we're working with, and we're hoping that, everybody seems to think that the mask is the positive thing right now. We're just extending it a little bit longer. We've been through this for over a year now. What's another 45 days? We need to try to do what the best we can. Let's try to get back to normal. Let's back up, breathe deep, and let's hang in there just a little bit longer. That's all I got, man.
All right, thanks, Dave. Marcus?
All right, thanks for letting me join the team late. I'm sorry for being late. So I hear Jesse, and I've had friends and I've had business owners contact me and talk to me the same way that our good councilman Jesse has laid out, and I support them, and I support the businesses and all the people in Lansing that have said the mask makes a big difference. So I'm basically saying that I don't understand why people are opposing something when less than 5% of the businesses within Lansing already mandated the mask on their doors. Are we arguing and discussing something just because it's a mandate and somebody's making me do it and it's against their freedom or their rights? Or are we talking about something that's better health of all of Lansing and all our kids and all our schools? And I think the mask has made a huge difference in preventing the COVID from spreading. And Dave, you're right. Maybe we'll see something in a year or two and it changes. But right now that mask makes a big difference. It's made a big difference on posts. It's made a big difference in the schools. Let me ask something about the schools. Are we hearing or seeing that the school board is delaying kids from being in attendance in the classroom because Lansing, Leavenworth, Tonganoxie, Baser have mandated the mask? I haven't seen nor read anything about our schools changing their attendance in the classrooms based on mask. Can somebody answer that for me?
I'm not aware of any issues that have come up with the school district. I think you're right, Marcus. I think the fact that they're required to wear masks, I think that, and we haven't had widespread outbreaks, I think that kind of shows that masks are helping in the school district.
Yep. So in a long discussion here that I've drugged this out, Mayor, I'm in full support of the mask. I think if it's just making people angry because it's something that they have to do, I'm sorry. But the fact that we're trying our best to keep these kids safe and the adults safe without spreading it through our city, then I'm all for maintaining this mask until the vaccine can catch up and we're all clear. And even if the vaccine's caught up, from everything I've read, and Gene, you're spot on, we're talking September, October before we even know if the vaccine is really effective. So this could be a lot longer than March 31st. So I'm on board with supporting the mask. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Marcus. Any other discussion?
Yeah, Mayor, we might even be helping ourselves towards the flu. They're talking that the flu hasn't even arisen to its level that it normally does. Like I said, Marcus, like I said, down a year or two down the road, maybe the mask help keep the flu down. We don't know. We won't know until we try, right? And it's not going to hurt you for a $1 mask if that's what you got to do to try to make somebody from getting sick. I don't want to make anybody sick, and that's where it's at.
Okay, thanks, Dan. Anyone else?
I do, Mayor.
Go ahead.
I want to be clear that what we're doing is we're letting the current mandate expire and we're going to issue a new mandate. That's correct?
Yes.
That's correct.
Okay. And where are we at on the cutoff date? I've heard March 1st and I've heard March 31st. So I want to be clear on the end date here.
The ordinance reads wearing of the face mask from February 1, 2021 until 31 March, 2021.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep. Anyone else? Or if there's no more discussion, I'll close the discussion. Then I'm asking for a motion to approve and adopt ordinance number 1053.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Call the roll.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Majure?
Yes.
Mr. Garvey?
No.
Mr. Buehler?
Yes.
Mr. Dixon?
Yes.
Mr. Brungardt?
Yes.
Mr. Studnicka?
Yes.
Mr. Trinkle?
Yes.
Motion passed. Okay, I need a motion to adjourn
So moved.
special meeting.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Call the roll.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Majure?
Yes.
Mr. Garvey?
Yes.
Mr. Buehler?
Yes.
Mr. Dixon?
Yes.
Mr. Brungardt?
Yes.
Mr. Studnicka?
Yes.
Mr. Trinkle?
Yes.
We are adjourned. Thank you, Jen.
Is Ron coming back?
Yes.
Haven't run you off yet?
Welcome, Ron.
Thank you.
Session in 10 minutes. 10 minutes till the work session.